And this is my ars poetica. I call it an honest witness. So much poetry was born in a broke-down auditorium of a world that conformed to the love for Big Brother, for 5-minute hates and the scrolling updates that control the thought patterns in this age of reaction. So much poetry was locked away and abandoned, hid to protect the masses, wearing thin from self-starvation, robbed of soulful information, labeled rants of insane madmen by the ones, foolish ones, who would enslave them. So much poetry labeled lewd and absurd, or dismissed with a word, as if a soul whose life work, one who wrestles with truth, has no place on this earth, is deemed unfit to be heard. So much poetry wrote from iron gates and cold stone dungeons, sharing a traitor's fate and a beggar's fortune, truth traded and distorted, rejected and aborted from the temples and the courtrooms, the marketplaces and the throne rooms that weave uneven justice and help pervert a national conscience. So much poetry would silence all false witnesses who testify against the truth, twisting the courts in every way. They give injustice fancy names, and they celebrate dishonest gain. But when the voice of poets came, they could not stand under the weight of the widowed, orphaned, and displaced who called account their evil ways. So much poetry would live to haunt a monarchy that ruled the land dishonestly, reducing men to property, and in their lust for currency, they'd profit from a stolen race, whose voices would rage against disgrace, and in the end the helpless shame of those betrayed. So much poetry is a slap in the face to the fear and disgrace of the mindless and base, who are wasting away in the darkness that bathes both the walls and the chains in that self-condemned cave of Plato's Republic. So much poetry would rather die with dignity, having the final word to say, and bringing from beyond the grave the voice of rebels, priests, and slaves, whose blood cries out as one great wave, bearing witness to the world men made. So much poetry can teach blind eyes to see, asserting trust, bringing belief, to bone stripped dry by life's defeats, a desert plagued by tragedy, mirage of self, dehydrated. But poetry comes in rock-led streams, giving men the strength they need to quell the sun and brave death's heat. So much poetry comes like the rain to wash away our battle scars and past mistakes. The sediment that shapes our fate, if it's left alone in time's decay, is broken by a fountain free that floods the soul with pen and ink. So much poetry is a romance with sanity, not one with handheld pleasantries, but one that rustles warm bed sheets, is evidenced by the scars it leaves. With its purpose and deliberate speech, it cuts us with its honesty, but it trusts that those it wounds are free to heal what's known from where they bleed. So much poetry cannot be ignored, addressed to every one of us, and yet to none at all. A message in a bottle tossed into a sea of life's confusion, lost until the day that blessed union of a soul who seeks communion finds it washed upon the shores of a heart that cracks and pours its truth into a self at once more human. An honest witness. Thank you.